She knows what she's doing. She knows she's wrong when she's doing it.
Tonight, mothers who make their children sick and the man who stopped them. But this detective says that getting the arrest is only half the battle, and he is pointing his fingers directly at prosecutors, telling our I-Team's Andrea Lucia that he believes they are not doing enough to protect North Texas kids.
I'm not a bad mom.
I'm not saying you're a bad mom, but if you've given her Benadryl, you need to tell me.
It's a crime almost too difficult to imagine.
I didn't do it 3 times.
How many times did you do it?
I'd say twice at the very most.
Caregivers, usually mothers, making their children sick on purpose. It's called medical child abuse, or Munchausen by proxy. Detective Mike Weber is something of an expert.
The main motivator has been something intrinsic, whether it be attention from the outside, attention on social media, attention from a loved one, whatever that may be.
As a parent myself, sometimes there's just so much anxiety in trying to care for your child that I can see people going overboard or making mistakes or...
This is not that. These offenders, it's very easy to tell the difference between an anxious parent and a parent that intentionally does this once you start looking at evidence in these cases.
In the last 15 years, Weber has arrested more than a dozen women in Munchausen cases. But he says Tarrant County prosecutors aren't doing enough to put them away.
You have to take these cases seriously and not treat them like they're misdemeanors. Unfortunately, that's what we see a lot from currently in our DA's office.
Weber admits he's had a rocky relationship with the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office. He was an investigator there for 10 years. Now that he's retiring, he's pulling no punches.
And it's extremely frustrating to be continually lied to by people that you should be able to trust on this abuse.
He points to 3 cases in particular. In 2019, he arrested a mother for felony injury to a child. The woman was accused of faking seizures in her 4-year-old son and making up symptoms at more than 200 doctor visits. After years of trial preparation, the DA's office dismissed the case, citing prosecutorial discretion.
They never called me, never talked to me, never talked to the child abuse pediatrician.
Then in 2021, another mother was accused of lying about her son's medical problems. In exchange for pleading guilty, she was allowed to keep her son and will get her record expunged after 5 years of good behavior. Weber says the move put the boy at continued risk.
Just hear me out.
Then there's the Jessica Jones case. Weber says Jones spent years claiming her 3 daughters had epilepsy. It was during a visit to Cook Children's Hospital in 2022 that medical staff grew suspicious and called the sheriff's office.
I want the truth, because I know you're lying about vomiting.
Okay, yeah.
Weber says Jones was giving the 4-year-old massive amounts of Benadryl to cause seizures.
I had that feeling of I'm losing my kid. I'm losing my daughter.
Derek Jones is the girl's father and Jessica's ex-husband.
She would take them to the doctor's appointments while I was at work because she was a stay-at-home mom. She would tell one person one thing and tell another person another, but she had it set up to where it would never connect back together.
Jessica eventually pleaded guilty to felony injury to a child and child endangerment, but was allowed to stay out of jail until her sentencing, on the condition she would not be around children. Weber and Jones says she quickly broke that rule by dating a man with kids.
I arrested her for a bond violation. She was allowed to bond out on that bond violation. The DA's office never sought a bond revocation hearing.
I was like, look, something's got to happen, you know. She's gonna end up harming some other kid. But I couldn't get the DA's office to do anything. It was more of like, oh, there's nothing we can do.
Jessica had been out on bond for 2 years at that point. 3 weeks before her sentencing, the DA's office did ask a judge to send her back to jail. At the hearing, a 12-year-old girl testified that just a month earlier, Jessica had befriended her father and given her medicine that had made her feel dizzy. Jessica's attorneys argued Munchausen by proxy is a documented mental health condition, and that what she needed was help.
She's ready to do whatever it takes to get well.
Weber says that is a frequent offense in cases like these, but he doesn't see it that way.
She knows what she's doing. She knows she's wrong when she's doing it. And that is a legal definition of abuse.
Prosecutors asked for 20 years. The judge, though, tripled that, calling her a public risk.
It is the court's sense that you will receive 60 years in prison.
It was a victory for Weber, but he now worries about who will carry on that fight for the next child.
I don't understand why the DA's office of Tarrant County wouldn't be interested in protecting children of this abuse. They should be partners in this. So far, they haven't been. Maybe that'll change after I leave.
Did you hear that gasp in the courtroom when the verdict was read, the sentence was read? That was the reaction from people who didn't expect such a big sentence. The Tarrant County DA declined, by the way, to sit down for an interview with us or to answer our questions. Instead, they sent this statement, quote, "We prosecute Munchausen syndrome by proxy cases the same as any other case in our office. If the facts and the law support a conviction, we will hold defendants accountable." Weber is now focused on helping pass legislation on this issue. He says, while it is illegal to lie to get medication for yourself, it is not currently illegal to lie to get it for your children, and that's something he hopes to change.
Well, if we take everything that you just shared and kind of look at it in a silo, Weber's obviously, at the point of the spear on this whole thing. So the question is, he's gone. That's what kind of released him to share his side. Who is going to continue investigating these types of cases?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that come into Cook Children's will now probably go to the Fort Worth Police Department. Weber, though, says he has offered to consult with any law enforcement agency free of charge on these cases.